The worst scenario could be this dreadful, ugly scenario. Let me talk you through what I see as possibly features of a really seriously bad scenario, the ugly scenario. When it comes to governments, governments may be just bankrupted. Many governments may no longer be able to finance the overspending that they've tried, they've got themselves into huge national debt, and it's failed. Governments default on their treasury bonds. They can't pay back the money they borrowed. China may stop buying foreign debt, especially from the US. China, it's estimated, owns something between $700 billion and over $1 trillion of American debt. They've been lending America money, and the money may not come anymore. So China may stop buying the foreign debt. Western governments may even collapse in this ugly scenario because of the extreme economic hardship felt by people. They view their governments as being bereft of ideas and having failed to achieve anything. And this may lead to the emergence of economic extremists who are recommending very, very strong economic medicine to solve the dreadful situation that people find themselves in and the economy finds itself in. And they may advocate extreme policy, maybe things like banning unions, reducing benefits, social security benefits, unemployment benefits, minimum wage legislation will be abolished. All of this trying to show that people were going to have to work for very, very low wages. I can imagine that such extremists will bring in full-scale protectionism. They would just outright ban or tax so heavily imports that to try and stimulate domestic production that we would see isolationism occurring and the end of globalization and free trade. Migrant workers in countries could get deported as they are seen as taking the few jobs that still exist away from citizens of that country. And of course environmental issues will be completely ignored as people care more about their immediate economic welfare in this ugly scenario. For the banks, all confidence in the banking system will have evaporated, and there'll be massive runs on the bank as people try and grab whatever they had in their banks, causing banking collapses, and there'll be no credit available. And across the wider society, I can imagine that massive public unrest will manifest itself as people try and express their anger and their frustration and their worries through violence and rioting and looting. Some people say we're seeing this sporadically already. There will be a collapse in both the economic outlook confidence and in the ability of authorities to cope. People will just have no confidence for the future, and they'll start thinking very, very short term about what they can get for the next week and so on, and it almost collapsing into anarchy perhaps. Fiscal stimulus packages will have been viewed already as complete failures. House prices will collapse because no one can get credit to buy a house. Widespread deliberate defaulting, people will just refuse to pay their mortgages to collapsing banks. The hidden economy and a cash society will blossom. People will just work with cash and they won't declare anything, and everything will be done under the radar of the government authorities. Crime rates are likely to soar in such an environment. And to add fuel to the fire, perhaps other exogenous events, terrorist attacks, extreme climatic events, hurricanes, earthquakes, storms, droughts, floods, can compound the problems. And so no one hopes that this arrives, and I can't myself see this arrive, but maybe features of this could occur in this very ugly scenario if things simply don't get better but get much, much worse. Now, I don't know which of these outcomes is going to happen. Maybe it'll be something between these two, a much slower recovery. But you know, obviously, we all hope it's something at this end of the spectrum. Another possibility is that the fiscal stimulus packages work too well, and they overstimulate the economy. We end up with inflation, massive inflation. So we're all waiting to see what happens. But I hope that the ideas I've put to you here maybe get you thinking, and I welcome your comments and your views either here on YouTube or on my blog. Okay? Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.